How's it going, folks? It's been a while, but I'd originally planned on getting on here and doing a video about this Christina Grimmie that was murdered Friday night in Orlando. With that particular story, I'm more interested in finding out, because I've learned all I can learn, I think, about Christina from the videos I've seen of hers, some of her vlogs that she's done. She's a pretty decent person, really talented. And it's a horrible, not just a loss of life and loss of a family member for her friends and family, but loss of a really good talent. I mean, she was pretty good. Of course, I had never heard of her before Jimmy Carter came on with the announcement that she had been shot at the club, or shot at the venue, whatever it was. Never heard of her before in my life. But there's a lot of YouTubers that I haven't heard of, because while I do watch a lot of YouTube, and my wife can attest to that, because if I'm sitting in front of my computer, typically there's a YouTube video either going or queued up to watch. It's kind of sad to say, but it's true. When I open up my Google Chrome, Facebook and YouTube are what opens up at the same time. And it don't matter if it's my desktop, my or any one of my 4 laptops, they all open up the same way. But that's while I'm upset at the loss, not upset, while I'm bothered, I do have to keep it at bothered, because I didn't know Christina at all. I had never followed her, never seen her. While it's upsetting that she passed away because of some weirdo that had a God only knows what going on in his life, decided to come to the venue she was at and basically take her out. That's what that guy's purpose was when he left his house in St. Petersburg. They say he left with 2 pistols, several magazines, and extra ammo, and a hunting knife. That guy was intent on doing exactly what he did. And when her brother tackled him after he shot her, then he knew he was in a world of hurt and just decided to do himself in. Why people can't just... I'm upset about the loss of life at all, especially with there not being a real reason for it. Again, I don't know anything about the guy yet, other than what he looks like, his name, and the fact that he was from St. Petersburg. If I can find it again, I'll put his picture up here. But he just... It doesn't make any sense. And why would you attack somebody that you have no real ties with. Is he just trying to be notable? I'm going to go out and be in the one that shot Christina Grimmie. Or Grimmie, whatever her name is. And then I wake up this morning. That was sad enough. And some guy's gone in a gay club and just leveled the place. All that should be upsetting enough by itself. Enough to get people thinking, talking, and trying to do something. And like I said, all that's upsetting. But the thing that just boiled my blood, I mean, boiled it, still got me mad. Turned it over to CNN just to see what they had to say. No, I don't trust any one news media's reporting because they all have their own agenda. However, I turn it over to CNN, there's Obama right there on the television talking about how much of a travesty this is and blah blah blah. And then they flash to the top of the White House where the flag's flying, and the flag is at half staff. Why am I mad about that? Because soldiers die in the United States all the time. Chattanooga, when the recruiting center got shot up by the guy that was calling himself a radical or whatever, those were enlisted people in the actual service. It took him a month to drop the flag for them. But let a gay club get shot up one time. And I don't have anything against gays. Don't even twist it like that. Let a gay club get shot up and it's down. Just that quick. Yeah, I'm mad. I'm boiling over it. Not because, oh, well, he prefers them over these people over that people. It just shows a blatant lack of respect. Blatant. I mean, there's no other way to put that. Yeah, that had me just steaming. Still does, as you can tell. So you stand behind people with an alternative lifestyle to the point that you'll do anything immediately and as accurately as you can for them. Again, not hating, that's their thing. You gotta do what you got. You gotta do what you think's best with your own life. But then, on top of it all, the men and women that lead your country to battle, or that help get the people in the service to lead your country to battle, to protect your freedoms and everything you believe in as a country, and it takes you a month to drop the flags. Heck, most of the soldiers had been had the funeral and been buried by the time the flag got dropped. One thing I'm happy about is that when the funeral home that did my dad's funeral had his funeral, basically, the flag was lowered to half-mast. And when everything was all cleaned up and buttoned up and shut down, the flag was still at half-mast. To me, that was a show of respect. Because they could have just as easily said, oh, well, he's gone now, he's in the ground, everything's straightened out, pull the flag down or put it back up all the way. And they didn't do that. They left it at half-mast the entire day. Now, when we were getting ready to head out of town the next day, it was back up. But they didn't have anybody else in the funeral home then either. It's a small town. But what's it say when a small town recognizes a soldier that's fought and some of them died for your country and your country's way of life, and a small funeral home can think enough to leave the flag flying and immediately put it down for starters, and then to leave it flying that way the whole day. But you can't even get the doggone president to drop the flag for several people that were in the service that died for a month, till after they're dead and buried, and nobody's even really thinking about them anymore. That just boiled my blood, and those people's families ought to be just as livid and upset about all that as they could possibly be. We never heard any of them complain. We probably should have, but we never did. Anyway, I'll be back. I gotta run in the store here. Gotta get we're replacing all the light fixtures that are damaged or broken or needing fixed, so I'll be right back. Yeah, I'm plenty fired up about this with the flag. I know somebody else is going to catch it without me saying anything. It'll probably be a meme on Facebook next week, probably, if anybody catches it. But I'm surprised nobody said anything already. That lets you know where people's agendas lie now. Focused on the part of the population with the least amount of people, ignoring the majority and what all them believe and want. Country's gone to hell in a handcart. You can't focus on I can't say anything about it without sounding like I'm a bigot or I'm against somebody or something, and I'm not at all. But how does it look when you're hopping to dropping a flag for people that aren't even military right away? But you've got people that were military that died while doing their job, and it takes you a month to drop the flag to half-mast for them. Now, I'm a veteran myself, and not just because I'm a veteran, but because I'm an American. That pisses me off. That aggravates me to no end. I'm on fire about that. How are you going to call yourself a leader thing you're leading is the perversion in the country. That's who you're catering to. And we're supposed to think he's an effective president, an effective leader of the country. That was the reason I didn't like Obama from the beginning. Because I could tell early, he had no respect for anybody. I had no clue that he would wind up screwing the country over as bad as he did and trying to break every constitutional law in existence the whole time he was in as a sitting president. But this is more of a slap in the face to me personally than any of the rest of the stuff. I don't know, maybe I'm just making too much of it, but that just shot all through me when I saw that. I mean, it wasn't even 2 hours after it all happened, and they were starting to report it, and the daggum flags at half-staff. Now, there may have been some gay service members in there, which I would understand. Nobody's identified them as such yet. So why in the heck is the flag at half-staff? I'm completely gonna not post anything to my Facebook on this one, because if I do, I'm gonna go negative and I'm gonna let it fly. I already know this, so I'm not even gonna attempt it. That's my opinion about all this. I'm interested in hearing some of you guys'. I'm not trying to be controversial. I am extremely upset. And I feel like I'm well justified being extremely upset. So, if you're not, basically you're part of the problem. I'll leave it like that. Because there's no reason at all that no, I'm gonna leave it like that. I make no apologies for who I am or how I am. I shouldn't have to. I'm not arrogant. I'm not a butthole to people. I try to be as good to everybody as I can. But when stuff like this comes up, no. That's when the side of me that I'm showing right now actually comes out. I don't mince words. I don't cower to anybody or cater to their whatever. I don't even know what to call it. What kind of words are escaping me. I'm so mad right now. I don't hate the people. I don't even dislike them. They are the way they are. That's their choice. I don't fault them for it. Whatever. But when, like I said, you're catering to the special group of people over the whole rest of the country, I got a problem with that. Anyway, that's all I got for now. I guess I'll talk to y'all later. I'd say it's a little hot today. What about you? Holy crap.